Let me read to you a passage from the 19th chapter of St. John's Gospel, verses 25 to 27. It's one of the Gospels that may be chosen for the memorial of Our Lady of Sorrows on September the 15th. St. John writes, "Standing by the cross of Jesus were his mother and his mother's sister, Mary the wife of Clopas, and Mary Magdalene. When Jesus saw his mother and the disciple there whom he loved, he said to his mother, 'Woman, behold your son.' Then he said to the disciple, 'Behold your mother.' And from that hour the disciple took her into his home." That's from John chapter 19, verse 25 to 27, for the feast of the memorial of Our Lady of Sorrows on September the 15th. We are led to think of Mary. Christ, the Son of God made man, was intensely human. His was a perfect and full humanity, indeed the fullest and most perfect of any man in history. His feelings were profound, and the affront and the sufferings of his passion and crucifixion were incalculable. That God could take on a human nature and suffer as he did is an extraordinary surprise to man, and a signal manifestation of his power. His embrace of weakness and death is an act of his divine might. But now, consider one aspect of the lengths to which he was reduced during his passion and death. Rendered prostrate on the cross in the presence of his blessed mother, in his weakness he was helped by her presence and support. His divine Father was his stay, but his very human mother was also his great and strong support. She was there watching on, as her Son and incarnate God slowly drowned in a sea of immeasurable suffering. She watched and went to the depths with him, supporting him in his work of suffering. She knew that he was redeeming the world and fulfilling his mission, and she was united with him in his determination to accomplish the work. As he was eager from love, so was she. He saw her before him. He knew she was there. He was fully aware that she understood why this was happening and why he had chosen this path. We remember the martyrdom of the 7 brothers in the 2nd book of Maccabees, chapter 7, and especially the support of their mother urging them on to be faithful in their witness to God. How much more did the all-holy Mary silently support and encourage her dying Son in his work of making all things new at last. Mary suffered with Jesus as no one else did or could. Just as he was not reluctant, nor was she. She carried the cross with him in spirit, and virtually we could say died in grief with him. And in all she was silent and strong like her Son. In faith she understood, and she supported him to the last. And just as he would not have had it different, nor would she. Her Son was redeeming the entire world, including herself. On this day, when we think of the sorrows of Mary, the mother of Jesus, we think of her incomparable union with her Son in his sorrows. This is the meaning of the sorrows of Mary. We think of her at the foot of the cross, watching her Son die a horrible death. He, the all-holy one of God, he, the Son of the Father, he through whom all things were made, was bearing the sins of the entire world and expiating for them all. There was not, nor could there ever be, anything like it in the history of the world. It was the greatest work in the universe and in all history, and it changed the prospects of mankind and the world. The cross was being exalted and pinned to it as to the highest throne of all time was the Son of God. He was consumed in a fire of suffering that sent its divine holocaust to the Father on high. Now Mary was part of the holocaust, entirely united in mind and heart and soul to her Son. She was the first and greatest Christian who had followed him as he carried the cross. She united herself totally to his sacrifice, with all the consuming suffering that made up her offering. If, as St. Paul says, we are to die with him so as to rise with him, and if this pattern is to be lived every day of our lives, then Mary, more than anyone, died with Christ in spirit at Calvary and rose with him in spirit at his resurrection. In her the church was present and represented, and what she did then, by God's grace, we all can do in our modest way every time we participate in Holy Mass. Mass is the mystery of Calvary being made present. Together with Christ at Mass, Mary, his mother, is of course present too, for she more than anyone else is in him. With him she renews the offering of all her sorrows, and as the mother and the model of the Church, she invites us to unite ourselves to her, so that we might be more united with her Son. How much closer was the beloved disciple John to Jesus on the cross for being next to his sorrowing mother? So too, let us be close to Mary all through life, especially every time we participate in the sacrifice of the Mass. Mary at the foot of the cross was given by Christ to the beloved disciple. The beloved disciple was given by Christ to her. Let us then accept her as our mother and our model. She will keep us close to Jesus, our Saviour, and will unite us to his offering of himself to the Father. She will help us follow in his footsteps, and by her prayers and help we shall learn to live and die with him, and so rise and reign with him.